I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited to have this conversation. Monique is joining us.
Okay,
Monique,
Hair.
What's up? What's up?
hi.
How you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to have this conversation with both of you. Monique, my girl, saw you at Slam Dance, and this is just such a wonderful opportunity we have now going to Miami. I know you're going to be with us. And for all you that are joining the live, this is a story about you, our feature film. We're going to be having a series of conversations with the actors in the film. Monique Lindsey is one of our stars in the film. She plays Sabine. Um, and this is really, I'm Denise Yolanda, if you don't know. I'm the writer and one of the producers on the film. And Keith, you want to say a little bit of something about yourself?
I'm just a fan. That's pretty much it. Yeah, my name is Keith. I'm a fellow creative artist, storyteller, all that stuff. So I'm really grateful to be here and appreciative of both of you for taking the time out.
Yeah, this is really just to have like an authentic, honest conversation about relationships and something that we can sort of offer that's not hetero fatalistic and doom and gloom. We want to offer a perspective that kind of leaves you feeling a little hopeful, especially it's something we all want. That's love is like the common denominator. Um, and it feels like special tonight because we're not just talking about the film, we're talking about the dynamics inside the film, which are very juicy and complicated and layered and complex. And so, yeah, first, I want to start with Monique, obviously. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and like the role in the film?
Sure. Hi, I'm Monique, and I'm from Sacramento. Living in LA now. Grew up. People say Sacramento is like the Midwest of California, so I grew up chasing cows and stuff. And I have a little twang, and everyone thinks that I'm from the South, but I'm not. And that really lended itself to my character in this film that I got to play with that accent, but she she had a situation with the man of the man that the story is surrounding, Wild, and had to work through maybe what we I think a lot of the time when it comes to relationships and love, we have a ideal situation and we may be delusional that the situation that we're in is that ideal circumstance, and
Mm,
that is not the case, and it takes a while to take those rose colored glasses off. So my character kind of talks a bit about that, and yeah.
that instantly made me think of that Frank Ocean line on Pirates, Fool's Gold. If you know, he's like rose-colored lenses from my store-bought frames.
But,
I
okay.
was like, when that song came out, I was like, the agony.
Well, I got
Like,
a question
yeah.
for Monique though. Like, just to add on to what you're saying, would you say, like, how similar to your character would you say you are in real life? Like, is it a part of your personality, or are you kind of like polar opposite of that?
Um, I definitely have some, like, it wasn't the polar opposite at all, but I've definitely had experiences in the past of having to figure some things out and really sit down with myself of why I'm maybe drawn to certain kinds of people, whether that's from my father or from just being treated a certain way by a certain person and then being like, okay, I'm never gonna date someone like that again, you know. But I definitely had some similarities, and also just how I feel like she's such an internal person of processing um the romance or life situations, and I'm very much that, very
Hmm.
emotional, very internal processing, journaling, poetic, you
Mhm.
know.
The hope, like hopeless romantic vibes.
Absolutely. I love love. I've always loved love. It's so great, but then that gets you in trouble.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Would you say that you learned anything about yourself from playing this character?
I think I think I learned. Well, it's just more cementing. I don't know if y'all have ever read that book, The Four Agreements, and
Yes,
Oh
how
I
they
yeah,
kind of talk about how everyone is living in their own movie, in their own world. And it just further cemented and helped me realize how much we, like we're talking about perception and reality, how much we just completely see something the way that we see it. And it can be a completely different experience for the person that is in that journey with you, and to really not be afraid to check in and ask questions, and that we're all coming from our own fears, insecurities, past experiences, or even hope, especially being a woman. I know men have this too, but being a woman, we're so much fed that we're supposed to operate a certain way in relationships, that we're supposed to have a certain goal in relationships. And yeah, it's just like, okay, let's really not just assume,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Do you feel like there should be an end goal, or like a? Do you feel like that is how relationships should be, or should it be like kind of like a coast of kind of navigating as you go, and because I know that it could be like a combination of both, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone is different. It depends, I'm not here to tell people what to do.
You bet. So you
You
get that's how
know?
you get in trouble right there.
Right, exactly. Monique Lindsey said, no. I think it's definitely, circumstantial. And I think it's nice if both people are very clear and intentional with what
Yeah,
they want and when they
Mm-hmm.
want it. I think that, is very helpful if people can uh be clear with themselves and honest with themselves, not lie to themselves about what they actually want and need, and can know how to communicate that. Because I think this film also touches on that of like, this is what I want, but I actually don't even know how to express that.
Right.
right.
you know?
Yeah. So Keith, you saw the film. Um,
Yes.
and I wanted to know, when you watch a story that's female driven like this, did you feel like, what makes you feel included, versus like what makes you feel shut out?
Man, I think I'll speak to this one in particular. I enjoyed seeing the different perspectives and getting different perspectives from from the women in the film, because all of them came from different circumstances, and all of them, obviously the common factor was wild, but all of them had different relationships with them, and
Yeah.
more, some of them were more open about like exactly what they were looking for, or what they at least thought they were looking for.
Mm,
But at the very same time, I think with him, he's like he was kind of a constant where, it's like he's really, and I don't want to say too much, but like he's a, wild is about wild, you know what I mean? And I think to
mm,
some degree you kind of have to be like that. But to speak to your
mm,
question, I think like I try to listen more than it's like it's hard for me to understand as a man, hard to understand a woman's standpoint all the time. So I think the best thing we can do is just listen and try to empathize, because it's difficult. How are we supposed to understand really,
mm-hmm,
Like what does
mm-hmm,
that really look like? I've heard so much of my life that you just don't understand. It's like, you know what? You're probably right. I'm not gonna argue that anymore.
mm. Do you feel like hearing that makes you like not want to try?
I think that hearing it constantly may feel like what's the like you start feeling like, well, what's the point in even trying, like
Mm,
it's been such and such amount of years now. If I don't get it at this point, am I ever going to get it, you know um
mm,
so I think you kind of struggle with that because everybody wants to be with somebody who understands. I think that's a huge thing about relationships. It's like you want to be with somebody who gets it, right?
yeah.
um but there are just some things that women go through that we just will never get on a like a on a deeper level. I believe, and
And
vice
not,
versa, of course.
yeah, not to go
Which is why I
totally there.
understand why which is why I get like it was good seeing it from Wild's standpoint because
Yeah.
you know well
Well,
We're
but
like,
you
zero
said,
spoilers.
right,
yeah,
exactly.
but you said that like it in part, wild is wild, and in some ways you kind of have to be that way. and when people watch the film, they'll see,
Yeah,
like he moves a very particular way. Can you expound on that? Like why do you feel like it has to be that way sometimes?
yeah. He does a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Compartmentalizing. I
Yeah,
think each one of them gets everybody in the film gets a different has gets a different relationship with them. And I think
literally.
all of them bring something else out of him, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
in a lot of ways it shows he's definitely not one dimensional, but it can come off like that because like I'm trying to say a lot without saying too much, but
I know, I know, I know.
yeah, he comes off as you could easily look at him and say, okay, this guy is just this, but it's like I think he's a much deeper character than like he gets credit for, or like in real life he would get credit for.
Hmm. Yeah, there's layers,
Yeah.
and it's kind of part of the fun to be able to like peel back. So for Monique, what was it like for you? And I know the structure, but what was it like for you being inside this kind of story? Like,
It was fun. Well, yeah, it was fun. It was a challenging. I definitely will say it was challenging because I wanted to honor your words first of all. Like I really wanted to for you to feel honored in what you've written. But it wasn't unfamiliar to be in the story,
yeah.
you know? And I grew up, look, I have two older brothers that were athletes. I grew up around a lot of men
Oh.
and saw a lot. And, just being a young woman, you see a lot of how
Yeah.
people move and operate and um have those like see how someone may seem one dimensional and then you're like, oh, you're actually really deep and we're not giving you enough credit. But also women are taught to not expect much from men and have them think
Mhm.
that deep and be, we be giving them a lot of passes, you know.
I would say for me though, like I'm Scorpio moon, so I'm so skeptical and I'm so like, is this real? Are you really deep? Or are you fake deep? Like, do you really read bell hooks,
Right.
or is this something that, is just on your nightstand because you got a
Are
girl
you
from
just
NYU
using it?
and she's
Yeah,
giving you a
yeah,
like, ah,
yeah.
you know?
You just using it because, yeah, girl, I got bell hooks. I love women.
Hey,
Look.
that's
So
it's
did I
interesting.
crack a tactic? Is that true, Keith?
Well, it's like you could look at both of them as being deep, even if he did
Just
have the book, even if he did have the book
a
on the
sneaky
nightstand
link.
just for, whatever. That could be low key deep too. I don't know. I don't
That's a
know.
good workaround. Yeah, I feel like you guys are kind of like fuzzy now. I hope it's not
People's
gonna stay that
fuzzy.
way.
You're not
Yeah.
fuzzy to me.
Okay.
Same.
Hopefully it like um settles out. Um but yeah. So Keith, I was wondering, do you think men and women are often reacting to two completely different versions of the same relationship?
Oh, all the time. Absolutely. I don't even know if there's a way where there is one, like one perspective on the same relationship. I think we both operate from two completely different backgrounds, of course. And I think both parties always are going to have some type of guard up, especially early on. Um, but for two different reasons. Like I think with for men, I'll just speak to that one. Like you're just taught to have your guard up in a certain way because you don't want to come off as looking soft or
Yeah.
come off as saying too much. You might be giving away too much information,
Mm,
or come off as desperate or like needy. These are all the things we hear. We hear as complaints a lot of times. Are just like you got sisters, you got friends, and they're always talking about this dude who is just doing too much or like all these other things.
yeah.
So it almost feels like having your cards closer actually works to your favor a little bit more, um, until you're actually in a relationship, and then it actually like does the opposite, which is
Peel
really
them layers
difficult.
back.
Exactly. It's like we got here from because I was holding my cards close, and now I'm supposed to just like put them on the table and just like show
Mm.
you everything I got. So it just feels like it's kind of like contradictory a little bit.
That's fair.
So would you say is that where like, hmm, where would you say then the disconnect starts?
Oh man, that's a great question. Where does the disconnect start? Mm.
Before you answer that, am I, Monique, is Keith fuzzy on your end?
Yeah.
Oh, for
Okay.
real?
Yeah, and Keith, is Monique fuzzy on your end?
Yes.
Okay, so is there a way we could, I don't know, like fix this?
Let's see. That's a good.
Wi-Fi.
You're right, exactly. I'm on here
Is
right
it my
now.
Wi-Fi? Like, what do I do?
I don't know.
I look. You look.
Might
This
just be
is.
Instagram being a hater because we're saying good stuff.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's the mine
Oh,
is
because
good
this
over
would be
here.
so
It's.
good.
I don't
Yeah,
know
because
why
yours looks
it's
clear and he looks like Play-Doh. Mhm.
insane. Yeah, so I was say yours is Denise. You're clear. Monique, yours is looking like we're in the 1990s right now.
Oh
It looks
no.
like Play-Doh a little.
Yeah.
I wonder if is your phone like up against something where you could flip the camera really quickly and see if that does anything?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like both of you. Like maybe if you flip it and then flip it. No.
I'm gonna just cut it off and cut it back on. How about that?
Oh, maybe that. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, still 1990s.
Oh, that's tough.
Guys, what do we do?
And we're both blurry for you?
Yep, you're both blurry
Really?
too.
I don't know.
So I don't I have no idea what that could be. We might have to play through
Should I
it.
exit and rejoin?
We could always try that.
What if I stay here and then you guys leave and then I'll re-invite you back in or leave and then come back? Can you do that?
Yeah,
That
I'll
sounds
try.
good. I'll do that right now.
Okay.
All right.
All right. That made it better. Hi, thank you guys for sticking with us. Adwa, I see you in the house, my girl. Hi, Adwa. Mars, I see you in the house. Isaiah, hi. I'm waving to everybody. Dalila, I saw you. Hi, girl. We are just having a little technical difficulty, so we want to make sure that they are. Hi. Hi, Kaya. We're just going to, hopefully, when they come back, they're crispy. Accept. All right, we just accepted both of them. That's better.
Better?
Much better.
Let's go. Look at
Duh.
us.
There you go.
Look at
Yes.
us.
Okay, great.
Troubleshooting.
Okay, that worked. Okay, so do you remember the question?
No, I don't. Look, my attention span
When
is
does
so
the
so
disconnect
terrible.
start? Because I had an
That's right.
answer, so I was like, oh,
The disconnect started with Instagram.
Right.
Um,
Wi-Fi,
right.
Spectrum.
Let's see. When does the disconnect start? I think that's kind of is a difficult question because I think it could start in a lot of different areas, but I do think that like we do have to be like Monique said earlier, we probably need to be a little bit more clear about what we're looking for. I think
Mhm.
probably the disconnect may start with a lot of people not really knowing what they need for real, and what they want.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
We're
even.
scared to
It's
say it.
yeah, exactly,
Right,
exactly. So it
right.
starts before the relationship even begins. It's like the disconnect starts with you, I guess. You know.
Mm.
So that's what I can come up with right now. I don't know. That's a good question though.
Or being willing to ask for what you want, because that's what we see in Sabine in Monique's character. You know,
Yeah,
she's a go with the flow girl. She's like, yeah, this is. I'm not really gonna ask you any questions. I'm not really gonna necessarily vet you. Um, I'm feeling the vibe. You're feeling the vibe, and what we do is like, okay, and eventually, this will be something.
yeah,
And it's very interesting what you were saying, Keith, about guys like holding like their cards close to the vest, and then at some point you have to like reveal them one by one. And then it's like
You have to,
so
you either have to or you
uncomfortable.
don't. Oh man, it's literally going against your own nature in a lot of ways, you know.
Ugh.
And what
But
It's
then
got
like
you there?
say that
we
again?
just
I said, and what got you there?
and what got you there exactly. And so it's like you got all this, like you got to you ended up like whatever. Like if your point is to get to a successful relationship or like to get in a relationship in the first place, you get there. So it's like you were successful at getting what you wanted to some degree, and now you're being asked to like do the opposite of that. Or like get like be more successful by doing the opposite of that. And it's just like, why does that make sense? You
Yeah.
know? And so, um, yeah,
It, yeah.
that's tricky. It's really tricky.
It's totally counterintuitive, and it makes me think of us to Perel meeting in captivity. And like, if how can you be um, still want the other person after you know everything about that person?
Exactly.
How can desire still exist um, if you've already kind of set the foundation of like desire actually exists because I can't have that thing, right? Like okay, total sidebar. I didn't eat carbs for the month of April. It was strict. It was like no sugar, no tomatoes, no
Wow,
nightshades, like nothing. Like so every meal just looked like vegetables and protein.
that's crazy.
And I'm not a sweets person. Like I if it was like if it's between like a cheese plate or a cake, it's like give me the cheese. But when I tell you, like, I was ravenous for a cupcake, like, oh my, like, and I never typically want sweets, but I was like, I like beelined to like the neighboring cupcake place by me, and I was like, and then the lady, I was like, I told her I was like, I haven't had sweets in 30 days, and then she gave me two cupcakes, and I was like, huh. Vanilla and chocolate. Mind you, I don't even really care too much for like chocolate cakes. And I devoured both of them. It was saying all of that to say,
You deserved it too.
Right.
thanks. I received that. um, but saying all of that to say, how do you still want something that you already have? And if you got the thing by being withholding, then is that at some point in the relationship, once you decide to be in a relationship, are you playing a game? Like, I
Monique,
don't know.
you wanna take that away? Or you
Yeah,
That
I
sounds
mean,
like a question
Monique.
for the man. No,
Oh man. Well,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
anybody, like, are
yeah.
we playing a game if we feel like,
yeah,
because girls do the same thing,
yeah,
girls are
facts.
like, "Psh, I don't care, whatever, da da da, and those are usually the girls that like are fly, like, they just seem like so much fun and they have a lot of guys because like they're just like a guy, like,
Yeah.
Giselle, right?
Oh yeah.
Giselle and she's at Adjoa. Maybe she might still be with us. We'll be talking to her in a couple of days, but, yeah, but is that real?
Right. That's game, but it don't last long.
You know, I think probably the wrong one to ask that. I think it's always a level of game involved from both sides. I don't think that it ever stops, to be honest.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's like everything else. You kind of like do have to, be strategic. And I know it sounds weird, and it doesn't have to necessarily mean like strategic in a negative way. Right? Exactly. Right. You just got to use your head a little bit. It's like you can feel things, and you can feel how you feel about a lot of things, but you also have to kind of navigate your emotions. That's why it's so important to be like emotionally aware and emotionally mature, because like if it's like a sense of immaturity, you're gonna act on impulse all the time. And
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to be around somebody who's always impulsive? However they feel, they're gonna treat you and treat the situation, like they're gonna treat how they feel over, as the priority at all times. And it's like, dude,
Reactive.
how old are we right now? It's like, it's difficult. It's difficult, but I do think that there is a level of game and strategy that you have to do with every relationship, not just your spouse or your significant other, but like with your family, with you may have a sister, cousin, who you work for, who you work with. I think all of it involves some level of like, um, for lack of better words, game for real. That's the best word for it, even though it sounds really terrible.
When you say game, do you mean like strategy though?
Exactly. Just,
Yeah. And
just
like,
making sure that you're like, nobody wants to be in a relationship with somebody who is constantly sucking value out of them and sucking like resources or whatever out of them without filling the cup back up. So
Hmm.
like even just making sure you're a good friend and you're not always asking for something whenever y'all talk on the phone or whenever you're reaching out, and
Yeah.
sometimes you're calling to pour back into people. I think that's really important. And like being aware of that, like being aware, like I don't want to be looked at as a bad friend, so I'm going to make sure I'm, filling my friend's cup, my people's cup, for twice over before I ask for something. Like that is a part of it too. Just as an example.
Yeah, but when I hear game, I'm or not even game, but when I hear how you explain it, it doesn't sound like game to me as much
I
as it
agree.
sounds like being aware of not reacting with emotion,
Yeah.
which is, yes, that's tactical, and yes, that's strategic, but that's also, God, that's so important to like not do to there's so much power in the pause, right?
Yep.
Like something happens and then you don't like it, and then instead of, oh, I'm upset, now I'm reacting from that being
Yeah.
upset place versus like I'm reacting from, okay, my goal here.
Yep.
Like what do I actually want to accomplish out of this? Especially if it's a situation where it's like, I know we're not going to agree. Like, I know this is kind of like fundamentally how you are. It might not even be worth it. Yes, this upsets me. And if we can't have a conversation about, like, okay, please don't do this anymore, or this is my boundary, then I have one of two options. I can just accept it, or I can fuck off. I can leave.
Facts. It's a
You
fact.
know? Mars said, showboating is a little necessary. We're still animals, but when that gets in the way of real vulnerable intimacy, that's the disconnect.
Mm,
Hey,
Hmm.
Chris.
that's
That
good.
is a major
Yeah,
key.
that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
So you didn't like,
Um,
so you like, so I think the word tact is much better than
then
game.
game.
But I mean,
Yeah.
they can
'Cause when
all
I think
really
of
like,
game, I think of Shawty. What's good?
oh
Game,
man,
I think of.
that's a that is something, that is considered game too. But there's like so many, but again, like everything else, there's like layers to
But
game,
I also
and
think
that may
that's
not
humans
be a game.
operating and just figuring out how to interact with different kinds of humans. Because even in the workplace, with
Exactly.
like you were saying, with friends or family, like you can talk to your cousin a certain way that you can't talk to your mom or your significant other, and you might say the same phrase and they're all going to take it a different way, you
Exactly.
Mhm.
know?
And that's the but like he's saying, we're still animals. That is the number one thing, because like you learn and you pick up things like that as a kid. Like, when you want something from your
Mhm.
mom, as a little boy,
Yes.
you're gonna like, you're just gonna treat it a little bit differently. You're gonna like, you may do things like chores and stuff beforehand before she asks, because like you got something coming up that you're gonna ask for. All these things are just natural things that you pick up. It's nothing, nobody teaching you these things besides like, you know life happening, and you're reacting to it. So I don't necessarily look at game as a negative. I don't really see it in a negative light. I think it's like all encompassing. Now people use it for negative things all the time, but that's like everything else. You know what I mean? There's no
Yeah.
like good or positive without the other side too. So like it's just about how you use it for real.
I say that all the time. There could be no light without dark, and it's kind of necessary to have
Mhm.
both. Mars also says, and you can showboat to yourself too, right? Intimacy with self is important too.
Man.
Yeah, it's intimacy with self, and that's also like kind of Keith, what you're saying, like knowing yourself, because like some of the things that you learn as a kid to like get your way, it becomes so ingrained that you do it without even thinking about it, and now
100%.
it's like, oh, I know if I withdraw a little bit, that's going to bring that person closer to me. And now you're playing this game and you're just like, oh man, I didn't mean to be manipulative, but here we are.
I
Yeah.
mean, it worked, right? Like it's
It
like you
worked.
all you're focused on is the results that you get from doing things. Like, and like and when you start feeling that the results are working in your favor, or like you're getting results that benefit you in some way, yeah, it's like who wouldn't continue to do that? Like, you know what I
But I
mean?
think what we're hoping in love, and I think this is what all women hope, is that the benefit for the guy is that I'm happy. Like that, that my happiness becomes somehow paramount or tantamount to whatever you getting your way looks like,
Right,
and that it would be like displeasurable for you to do something that would get in the way of that. And
right.
we have like this ultimate like fairy tale idea that, oh no, he's putting me first.
Yeah,
Okay. Keith, what do you think makes it hard for men to be fully honest in relationships even when they want to be?
because we want to see you guys happy.
Oh, stop.
Because we want y'all to be happy. It makes us happy, and we get to, you know, relax when y'all are happy. But um, yeah, I think that's the biggest part. Is like we don't want to hurt your feelings. We don't want to say anything that's gonna like rub you the wrong way, and it's very easy to do that because, you know, like being in a relationship, your feelings are attached to each other. So it's like a, you know, it's just like a push pull thing. So you just have to be, you like learn to be very like, you know, intentional about what you do communicate and how, and especially how, because that's really the main thing is like how you're, what you're like, how you're saying it versus what you're actually saying. Because
Yeah,
things get lost in translation all the time,
yeah.
you know. So yeah, it's difficult. It's really hard. I don't even remember the question, but I know it's hard.
I mean, but that's like the how you say things. It's like, so, I mean, I'm even practicing that though, because like from being from New York,
Oh yeah,
well, people aren't accustomed to me saying like da 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 da. And
yep.
that's what
Mhm.
feels really good for me. Like I feel like it's so cathartic for me to just be like and then for the most part, like I don't know, it's like it's also kind of funny to me, like you guys saw this in my character, like I think it's
Oh yeah,
hilarious. My mom is like that, my uncle is like, my uncle says the wildest stuff and I'm like, oh my god, but it's so funny, he says it, he's from the Bronx, da 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 da, and
Yeah.
I love all of that stuff. And then here in LA, people look at you like you have four heads.
oh yeah,
And so
oh yeah.
anyway, Monique, okay, from the question, what makes it hard for men to be fully honest in relationships? From your perspective, how does that land in terms of the transparency from or lack of transparency from men in relationships? How does that land for you?
Yeah, I think it's tough because then it's like, well, you don't feel safe to be vulnerable. Aren't we connecting here? It feels like someone may have a wall up and may feel like they are hiding something in today's day and age.
That's
Or
terrible. That's like honestly the worst.
yeah, and then also, I mean, me personally, I'm one of those people that people tend to open up to without me asking and telling
Mhm.
me all their business.
Mm.
Mhm.
And so if someone doesn't, then it's like, oh, this isn't where we aren't connecting here because why should I have to fight with you to just be yourself? And that's kind of how it lands personally. But I know with friends, and I have a lot of conversations about love and dating and whatnot, especially in LA, specifically with the homie, with their experiences. And I think a lot of it, people are afraid of what people are hiding. And, that a lot of people aren't honest about what they actually want, and they may say a certain thing just to get what they want, like we were saying, game, but really
Yep.
lying. um a different kind of game. And yeah, so that's how it lands, like. And also if you're like really methodical, is that the word, about how you're
Yes, I know. Methodical,
Mhm.
methodical.
methodical
Mhm.
That's what
about
Monica says to
how
Raj. She's like,
you're,
yeah,
yeah,
you're methodical.
about how you're expressing and what you're like, our women's intuition is like is
Yeah.
this a script? Like, what is
Uh,
going on here? Like you
Usually
said,
is.
like, exactly. It's like, oh, this gets me what I want. This gets me the women I want. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to show you my bell hooks on my nightstand. I'm going to,
mhm.
you know, do those
Rinse
kind
and
of things.
repeat.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's not broke, you know.
Right. Which I also wanted to say too about that is a lot. I have given the benefit of the doubt, but also a lot of the time it is habit. You know, it's not necessarily like, ooh, this works, so I'm going to keep saying this. It's just like, oh, if I act this certain way and I, say that I feed homeless people on Saturdays,
Yeah.
then women are intrigued by that. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to
Oh
show my
yeah.
best foot forward and, get the results, but it's not necessarily like, yeah, gotcha. you know
Yeah.
hopefully
I mean, it's every
It's
guy
true.
on Hinge or Raya with like his puppy, and it's
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, really? Oh my
Like, look
goodness.
at my dogs, oh, look at my nieces and nephews, I love
yeah.
kids.
I like kids. I'm caring.
I
I can keep something alive.
I have a plant, I'm a plant daddy.
Clearly, it's working. I guess.
He's
Yeah.
like, these are all of my tricks.
I say something. This
Then
bag. I
you
mean,
can
I'm
hear
interested.
dogs barking in his background.
I'm hearing. I'm learning some stuff right now because yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about it like that. But again, everybody's got their thing. It's like, we could say that men definitely have their little, you know, I guess I keep saying game, but there's method to it. But
The go-to hook.
so do y'all too.
You gotta hook the audience.
Yeah, you got to. Y'all, and like again, especially in like 2026, where everybody is, your attention span is just gotten, everybody's just so short,
Yeah.
and you have social media that's kind of like pitching you all these different like ideologies about relationships and why you either need them or you don't need them at all. And
Mm,
so you got to figure out your way to like set yourself apart from that. And a lot of times people will just use dishonesty and that to get it. You know what I mean? Because like words are always really powerful, and it's so interesting because like you think that actions are the thing that like, but words do so much. They can take you so far without before people find out that you're full of it. You know what I mean?
And
Which is so
unfortunately,
crazy,
now we
but
got AI, so people can construct
oh
their
yeah, they're
image.
asking chat
exactly.
chat.
You don't even have to come up with the words anymore. You can just like, come on, man. So it's a lot.
It's really interesting. Sarah said, end up being a con artist.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. But it's just honestly to me, it's really interesting because it's like it depends on the person too.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like certain people could get away with words, but other people kind of really have to show up with like acts of service or like
Oh yeah.
other love languages, you know? Um, but yeah, okay. So Monique, I wanted to ask you, because this was like a big, now that you've seen the film, this was a big uh between Joseph, Jeremy, Shannon, and we were like, should we put this here? And there's a moment where Wild looks at the camera and he goes, I mean, well, do you think this moment is misunderstood depending on who's watching? And how did you feel about that moment in general?
I mean, yes, everyone's gonna interpret that differently, and I just felt like it was such a man moment. like,
Such a fair moment.
you
That's
know,
why I was vetoed.
yeah, it's like,
I was the only girl in the room, and I was like, Shannon, I hate this.
yeah, that's such, I mean, and again, like I said, I grew up with a certain collection of men,
Yeah.
athletes, and so
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, that was very on the nose of like, I mean, hey, and then
Exactly.
like,
Did
Yeah,
you
it's a little
resonate with
shrug. Like,
that,
what else is
Keith?
there to say? It's like it says so much in such a short, that's like small window. It's crazy.
Did that moment feel really honest for you, Keith?
It was actually funny because it was obviously unexpected. It just like was so abrupt, but it said so much because y'all, uh, not to give too
exactly.
much. There was so much already being said that like from the other perspective that like it was just like this, it was like it was like the point where you start as a guy feeling like, okay, like I understood, I get where he's coming from right there, because it's like we're hearing, you know, a lot of other perspectives at the moment, and like really in depth. So it made sense to me. It made all the sense to me. It was interesting.
Yeah. Um, okay, so we want to ask the audience some questions. Keith, do you want to roll that out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely cool with that. My first question would be like thinking about something that you've experienced, maybe in a relationship where you felt misunderstood. I know we've all, you know, had
Mm.
these situations where, um, you know, you may be going through something. We're all growing and we're all changing extremely quickly, you know, especially as we get older. And sometimes we're either growing together, and in some ways we could be growing apart. So I think during those times, people are always going to feel a little bit of, you know, feel a little misunderstood. So if there's anybody that's here right now that's listening, would love to hear a story or an example of a time in your relationship where you felt misunderstood.
And yeah, okay. Hi, Chris. We just asked those of you who are watching, everybody's kind of shy.
I
If there
understand. I
if
get it.
if there's a moment you've experienced where you felt misunderstood in relationship, if you care to share. Um, hmm. I'm trying to think if maybe while we wait for
I
people
was
to
about to say,
answer
Denise, do you
that.
want to kick it off? I feel like you should kick it off.
I know, right? Isn't it obvious? um, I mean, for those who haven't watched the film, Misunderstood in a Relationship, I think for me, like, when we had auditioned Shannon, he had asked me, he told me, he was like, I'm wild. And I was like, no, I'm wild. And he's like, no, I'm wild. And I'm like, no, I'm literally wild.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
and so what I think is misunderstood or has been misunderstood in the past is probably like how much I really cared when I acted like I didn't. Or or yeah, yeah. That's really it, you know. You had said to me the other day, or not the other, yeah, the other day, Keith, you're like, well, you're an actress, and so you could pull it off. But for me, it's like, I mean, that would be a bastardization of the work, you know. Um, we go to these places to just excavate a truth that we may not actually have the agency to live in our everyday lives, and that's why the craft is so magical and it's so special and it's unlike anything else,
Oh yeah.
because you're using your full instrument to your body, your breath, you know, moments where your face gets hot and you don't even mean for it to, or moments where you leave and people are like, "Oh my God, that what you did was XYZ," and you're like, "I don't remember it." Um it's
Yep.
kind of like just really becoming a vessel. And so it's kind of spiritual in a sense for me. So it's not something that I would intentionally employ in a relationship, like in a relationship.
Right.
Um, Max said, I give my answer, but I wrote a whole feature about it. Okay, so Max, we have to stay on the lookout for Max's feature.
Let's
Um,
go.
yeah. But yeah, I think in a relationship, um, maybe I'm more so referring to like dating or a situationship.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I also kind of consider everything to be a relationship because I'm just like, I
Yeah.
really, I really find the ways in which, like, even if it was like a blip, even if it was like a week, even if it was like a week in Paris, it's like
Specifically.
specifically, um, it's magical, like, and it's wonderful, and it's like, wow, like this is something that's gonna stay with me, and even if I act like it's I've forgotten about it. Like I haven't. So bleh, great. Now you guys know my guts.
Hey, that's what it's about. That look, you kicked it off. That's what we were looking for.
Okay, so the real Sada says, I would say for me, I felt misunderstood when I had a down season after having an incredible couple of years. And instead of growing through that season together, they found it inconvenient.
Mm.
Mm.
That's tough.
It's
Um,
unfortunate.
and that's, such a punch to the gut. Because the reason why people get in relationships is so they don't have to do this life thing alone.
Alone. Right.
Like, it's not
That
just
ride or
about,
die.
yeah,
Yeah,
the ride or the die. It's not just about the fun and the fuck it's. It's about I'm like, I need support here.
yeah.
So I'm sorry that happened. But I always say it just is making room for the next thing. So never, ever, ever feel bad. Okay, Matt said, to make it shorter, me and my partner wanted intimacy at different times. And when the other one wasn't interested, the other took it the wrong way. Oh,
Tough.
whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't wait to see this feature now.
She's like, you should understand. You denied me yesterday.
Right?
Yeah, that's
No,
tough.
yeah, that's tough.
That's hard to
Thank you for sharing,
navigate.
Max. Um, yeah, we'll be on the lookout for this feature because now I want to know. Now I want to be on the fly on the wall and be
So
like, what happened though? Okay, Sarah said, my partner and I couldn't compromise on a uh my partner and I couldn't compromise on a city to move to together. He couldn't understand why I wanted to be in a big city and he wanted something more calm. Yeah,
I think
that's a
that's
good one.
I think that's definitely I would imagine it's pretty common at this point. Like because again, I can understand why why someone would want to slow down a little bit as we get older and being
Yeah.
in a bigger city, traffic and just like the pace of everything and the effort that it takes to get anywhere, especially okay, we're all in LA. Just think about
Yeah.
the effort it takes to just do grocery store or like anything just takes so much out of you. You just feel drained when you get back into the crib. I imagine like I can understand why someone would want to, you know, move away from that gradually. And then
Milk,
on the
milk
other
some
side,
cows instead.
you know what I'm saying? Like go to a local farm,
Right.
local shop, local grocery. Like that sounds like it'd be a cool experience. At the very same time, um, you know, the I would imagine, I would argue that a lot of people live in a city like New York or LA because of the pace and because of
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the same things, the opportunities, the like how much is going on at all times, at all hours. It can be invigorating in a lot of ways. So I can understand why people would want to stay there too, especially with like depending on careers. You guys might be in two different, might have two different career paths or like two different things that you're doing
Yeah.
career wise, and I can see why the divide would happen. It's pretty understandable. I don't know how you would fix that though.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, or you could
Just
Yeah.
get
just y'all could
clear
just
Sarah,
have
on
Sarah,
vision.
y'all
tell us
could
in
live
the
in different
chat.
spaces. Y'all could have, different
Multiple
locations.
houses.
Yeah,
Or it might be
yeah,
something like living, if you want to live in LA, you might move to like one of these, I don't know, Rancho
Pa-
Cucamongas or something.
I mean,
yeah.
Pasadena's kind of calm.
It
Who?
is. That's true.
Pasadena. All these
Uh,
outskirts are kind of calm.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
But like,
There are calm places. I don't know. I just feel like
I
LA is
recently
a city that
saw
moves, but it's chill.
a young couple had a baby and they moved out to the countryside thinking that's what they wanted, calm life or whatever. And I think 2 months into the baby being born, they said, "Nah, we bored," and moved back to the
Wow.
city. And they had
Yeah.
like a 4 bedroom,
Oh
nice
my
house. And I was
God.
like, that makes sense to me. I get it.
Yeah. Adjua says, as I get older, it's so crazy how much being in a quiet city scares me. It scares the absolute shit out of me. I hate it. I went to Palm Springs. No, 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 not Palm Springs. What is the other one?
Joshua
It's
Tree,
yes. I hated it. It was so scary. It had like a thick
desert.
energy. And then yeah, and then I forget if it was my mom or my sister. They were like, "Yeah, this is where the gangsters used to bury the bodies." And I'm like, "What?"
Not
Like,
wrong.
Some stuff be going
right?
down in Joshua Tree.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh. It's like, and then people, it's so boring, right, Angela? It's boring, it's scary, and then people are like, it's
Catching
quiet,
all
and
these
people are
strays.
like, "Hi, how are you?" And they're extra nice in the
Hi.
grocery store, and I'm like, "Why are you so nice? I don't like it." Like, it made me
That's
so uncomfortable.
that's because you're from the big city. Like you're from New York, right?
Well, I actually grew up in a smaller city. Like, I was born in New York, but then I grew up in Fort Lauderdale.
Got you.
I
Oh,
claim New York because I'm like, my mom is from Brooklyn, and I was there for a really long time before moving to Los Angeles. But so I feel like New York is in my DNA.
yeah.
But I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Shout out to the 954. And yeah, we're Publix. Shopping is a pleasure. So I kind of know what that's like a little bit,
Mm,
because it didn't, I mean, but I was a kid. I
Yeah.
think it was a beautiful place to grow up as a kid, but as an adult, I wouldn't want any parts of it.
feel that.
Yeah. Monique, do you want to close us out with the story, or
Wait, what's the question
Let's
again?
go.
oh,
Let's go. Look,
uh
I'm
some
ready to hear it. We're ready to hear it.
What's
no,
up? You talking
something
about
Keith,
Publix?
Now I want to hear it. I want to hear the
something, and Keith, I
misunderstood
think you have
story.
to share a story too.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, both of
that's
us.
cool. That's no
I think
problem.
both of you. Something, share with us
Hmm.
something you've experienced where you felt misunderstood in a relationship.
Misunderstood. I had an answer earlier. Let me think for 2 seconds.
Should I go
Mm.
while you
Yeah, you can go.
All right, because I just was thinking about it, and as you were, as you were telling yours, Denise, I was sitting there trying to figure out like what mine would be. But I think the one of the more common ones is essentially on the same like level or in the same like realm as two people who are trying to one's you're talking about one trying to wanted to move out to the country and kind of ease like a little bit into a slower life, and then the other one wanting to be in a bigger city. I think just being in a creative field
Mm,
can and being in a relationship can really I mean you essentially can always feel like you're misunderstood to some degree, especially when the hours are not the same and you know yeah, like you have to like make intentional time to be with your person, especially like when you let's say you're a full-time creative, and like it's difficult because I feel like I'm the most creative at night, and that's when I can feel like I get
oh,
the most work done. But that's
Mhm.
like the time when sometimes a lot of times depending on your partner, that's when it's the day is over with. It's like unwind time, and trying to rest and get back to the next morning and just get some peace of mind. So that can definitely add some disconnect and some misunderstanding for sure.
yeah.
Okay, you helped me come up with my answer. Very similar, but more so, I think, well, my mom's an entrepreneur and has her own furniture store in Sacramento, very hardworking, wonderful woman, and she be locked in on what she's doing, and I'm the same way. So when it comes to auditions or studying a role, or yeah, I have to be on set for 3 weeks, 12 hours a day, each day,
Hmm.
I'm locked in. Nothing else matters. I am here. I've This is my dream. This is what I'm doing. And I think that can be polarizing for sure because I'm like, I don't I'm just so tunnel vision. Or if I'm writing a script or just
Mhm.
work, just at home, just like hours without eating can just be very locked in and then short and not so loving as I usually am, and I think that can be misunderstood of like, I'm not important or you know, whatever is misunderstood, but it's not in me being mean. I'm just very focused. So I feel like that's one. And then I think another, just in general, over many years of dating, when I was in the dating world, of just assumptions people make about you because you are an actress. If
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
in general, if they're not used to, and especially like I pride myself on being a very genuine, like open, honest human being, and I understand a lot of people are not like that, and so people tend to have their guard up, and like you were saying, think you're acting or think you're in it for benefits or whatever, trying to how people are like networking, whatever. And I think because people have been jaded in the past, they can take your kindness And now I say too, even people that take your kindness as flirting, and I'm just being friendly. That's
Hmm.
another message. I just
Mm,
smiled at you. I am not flirting with you. You know.
yeah.
So it's all of those things that you know, I've literally had people hit me up like, yeah, so and so homie said he used to date you. I'm like, who? And I look at the person, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yo,
You know, that's happened multiple times, and I'm like, yo, why?
it's so
This
creepy.
is
That is
this is
crazy.
weird. Why? Maybe I had a conversation. I don't even recognize the man.
I don't know this man.
I don't understand. Sorry to this
too
man.
too
Sorry to this
friendly, too
man.
friendly.
You know, so yeah, there's a lot of opportunity to be misunderstood. I think especially as artists and people that are, it's such a personable business. And
Mm,
um yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Max says, I feel the same with being a director. Yeah, 100%. Girls are like, can I be in your next movie?
Yeah,
You
you're
want to
gonna write
draw?
a part for me.
Can you write a part for me? Can I be your muse?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I honestly intended for this conversation to be like a half an hour, but I had a feeling it was going to be really good with both of you here because you're just both so like open and authentic, and I so appreciate you both for being here for this conversation. For you guys who are still on, and I'm going to post this too. Monique and I are going to be in Miami, May 27th through the 31st. Come to our screening on the 29th,
Yes.
where you get to see Monique as the beautiful Sabine. I mean, the beautiful Monique as Sabine. And you get to see me as Monica. And
Beautiful
Shannon,
Monica.
You kill it.
Shannon
Both
Wallace
of you
as
just kill
well.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll be back on live on the 11th with Miss Pernell Walker. So
Ooh.
please, please, please tune in. Sarah, Max, Ajwa, everybody who joined us tonight. Mars, oh my God, Mars. Thank you guys. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Peace.
night.
Have a good night.